This is like a scene right out of Jungle Book. I feel like I'm 7 years old. I love it. Take a look at this trail. And aren't you just waiting for like these temples out here? I wonder if these temples were the inspiration, you know, that scene in the movie with the big chimp, you know, ooh, I want to be like you, and all the monkeys, because it certainly looks like that. And I know Star Wars was filmed here. So I hope I can find civilization. Okay guys, I am back. I'm here to share with you part 2 of our Guatemala adventure. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about Tikal and also Las Flores. I am in the cutest little island. It's actually an island that's connected to the mainland here, which is called Las Flores. It's so colorful and super cute. It's got like all these really bright colored houses. In my last video, I talked a lot about Antigua, but I also touched on a little bit of Las Flores and Tikal. And I'm gonna talk a little bit more about that now. So I actually flew from Guatemala City to Las Flores. You get there and I was a little bit nervous because I didn't really have a plan after that on how I was gonna get from Las Flores to Tikal. I flew over, it was only like an hour flight. It wasn't super expensive. I wanna say it was around $100 to $130. Maybe. Tikal, you're gonna need some kind of a transfer. You probably, I don't know if you can even get there with a public bus. It's a little tricky because it's out in the middle of nowhere. So it's best to either book it through the hotel or find a transfer that's gonna be from one of the hotels to the other that's actually in Tikal, the park. Now, there's like a 10-minute shuttle. It wasn't very expensive, maybe 20 minutes to get from the airport to the main part of Las Flores, because Las Flores is an actual island. It's connected by land, but it's an island that is the most colorful, beautiful little island you'll ever see. It was so magical. I really wish that I would have spent more time there, that I could have been there longer than just a day. Every single house is painted another bright and colorful color. Now, I do need to touch on the ATMs in Guatemala. That was a little bit of a nightmare. Certain places didn't work with the ATM. I had to keep trying a bunch of different ones. Guatemala, I do remember, was a pain in the fanny about getting money out at the ATM, and a lot of places will only take cash. I'm trying to go on a boat trip to go to this Las Arcas, which is this reserve for animals that have been trapped or not taken well care of. At first I had to get some money out of my ATM machine and I was having major issues. Third ATM machine that I tried, and finally when I got some cash, I just pulled out as much cash as I possibly could, because I'll transfer it over or change it out if I need to, and maybe I lose a little bit of money, but at least I have cash, because cash is king in Central America. If you don't have cash, you're kind of screwed. Now, if you're going to a hotel or if you're going to be staying at any nice restaurant, then you're going to be pretty safe with doing a credit card or debit card. But anytime that you're going to buy something from the market, anytime that you're going to get like even picking a taxi or other things that you want to buy that are outside of like the main central areas, people want cash. Even some of the hotels and some of the hostels, they will only take cash. They have a place called Las Arcas, or Arcas, maybe it's just Arcas, not Las Arcas, which is a refuge for animals that you could pay somebody to give you a little boat ride from Las Flores out to this refuge, which was another one of the islands. That trip, I did that as just a single person because it was just me. Round trip was about $30. Arcas was interesting. It had a lot of interesting animals. It's kind of set up again in the jungle. It's pretty quiet. There's not a lot of people. I maybe ran into one or two other people that were on that little island. This is my captain, and we're gonna go to Las Arcas. It's a little animal reserve. I'm gonna go check that out for a few hours, and then I'm gonna be back in time for my bus to take me to Tikal. So should be fun. was worth that time or effort. Like I might have just enjoyed going on a boat ride around the island to the other islands and maybe done some time swimming or exploring and not necessarily looking at these animals, because I don't think in the bigger scheme of things there were, I've seen similar animals in a much better setting, but because it's a refuge, these animals wouldn't make it in the wild. There's a real benefit of it that they're trying to do something good. I thought it would be neat to check that out.
Mixed reviews on Arcas. I personally didn't really love it. I really question when we save these animals and we put them in the cage, they seem stressed. I don't know if it's the right thing to do. To me, it's like let nature do what it needs to do, and anytime we interfere as human beings, I think we just mess up the whole system. Anyway, it was kind of like a zoo. It just made me feel a little sad. Beautiful animals. Had a connection with this ocelot, just watched me, but watching the jaguar pacing back and forth, and the same thing with the cougar, the puma, they just looked really, really sad. We need to go do a couple more islands. Instead of going just straight to Arcas and back, I'm gonna go do that. I had to make sure that I had enough money because I've been having all these problems with my ATM machine. But so really 300 quetzales is about $35, and it gives me like a 3-island tour here in Flores. Flores is like a little city, basically an island city. I wish I would have brought my swimsuit with me because maybe I could have gone swimming. It's really hot and kind of muggy out today, but it's so fresh on the water. Here in Las Flores. It is like a little tropical paradise. I found this restaurant just walking along the street, and you walk in and it's like the Garden of Eden. It's got all of these little lounging things in different little huts. I got the Oompa Loompa because lately I've been so chunky. I feel like an Oompa Loompa. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a try. It is a smoothie, and the name of this place is called Maracuya. If you are in Las Flores, Guatemala, you should check this place out because it is cool. I could totally just live here on this deck. Like, yes, please. Amazing. We're leaving Macaya. This is this amazing, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful little garden. And you go around. This is how you get out.
I only stayed about a half a day actually in Las Flores on the island, and then I had a transfer that afternoon that was then taking me to Tikal. There's only a few hotels that are actually in the park. Now some people will stay in Las Flores and then they'll take a day trip, or they'll rent a car and then go to Tikal and then come back to Las Flores. That's a pretty common thing that many people do. I chose to just go ahead and do the big splurge item, which was to stay at the Jungle Lodge in Tikal itself. So I was in the national park at a lodge that was there inside the national park. I did that because I wanted to really do the sunrise hike and get there early before anybody else did to see the ruins at sunrise.
Oh, there is something there.
Oh, probably.
What is it?
It's the little bird from
Oh, it's a
the other
baby.
one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Now we got there super early in the morning. I was so excited to see the sunrise because you're gonna see these pictures of Tikal where it's like the sun is rising and you're on the top tower of these Mayan ruins and you're overlooking everything and you're just like, wow. And you're hearing like monkeys and you're hearing all these like wild, like you're just right in the jungle, like you're right out of Jungle Book. And we sat there and we were quiet waiting on the wall for this morning sun. And it was so foggy that morning that we saw nothing. The sun came and it was just a shade of gray. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, we got up at 3 a.m. to hike all the way up there to get there for the sunrise. And then it was like, wah, wah, wah. But to be fair, it was still really cool because then we were there, we could hear the jungle kind of waking up in the morning. We got to do the walk with our guide. I got a lot of information about the ruins. And then he's like, okay, after the sunrise, we're gonna walk on a couple other areas and now you can see where everything is. He let us loose and I went and explored for I think I was gone from 3 a.m. and didn't get back till noon. So I explored the whole ruins and didn't even get to the end of them because there's so many of them. Some fantastic views, and because you're there early before the rest of the crowds get there, it's just the heat hasn't settled in. It was a great choice.
So I am in here at Tikal. See this? It is, I believe, the largest ruins in all of Central South America. This is in Guatemala, in the northern part. It's actually like a 10-hour ride from here to Antigua. So I took a flight. It's much bigger than I expected. So we've been walking. I've been up since 3:45 and it's about 8 o'clock now. I go see the main plaza just because I couldn't see all of that this morning when we came because it was still dark. So I'm gonna take some pictures. We were trying to hit the sunrise and get the view because we were at the tallest building. Unfortunately, it was foggy. So we heard a lot of monkeys. It was a pretty incredible experience to be there at the first part of the light, listening to the jungle wake up. So I'm gonna take some pictures and snap some shots of some of these different temples. I have hiked up one that you could go up, which was really cool. We saw some baby vultures that were kind of hidden in this cave. It's pretty cool learning about Mayan history and culture. I didn't realize that they would have these steam baths that they are steam rooms with the smoke. Basically, they would go in there. What they would do is do with all these herbs and stuff and do this big steaming. And then they would have these games that had to do with a ball. I don't know exactly what they played. The winner of the game would then be sacrificed because they wanted the best to be sacrificed to the gods. I would be happy to lose. I'd be like, you did a really good job. I tried my very best, but just couldn't win so I can live. Interesting. But then they think that they get a fast forward. When they did get sacrificed, they believe they got a straight shot to the heavens. So, and something with 7 stars, because there was 7 stars, the sisters, they call it, something like the 7 steps to heaven. So anyway, for purposes of being able to see how big these are, and it's way bigger than what I expected, and definitely worth the visit. It's a little complicated getting in. You have to buy the tickets before you get to the actual park, and the park is huge. You can buy the tickets online, and then you have to get a separate ticket if you want to do a sunrise hike, and then you need to get a guide. I want to say it was around $30 something with the 2 tickets, and then the guide was an additional $17. So you're looking at roughly $50 for the day. I chose to stay at this lodge. It's called Jungle Lodge, and it's here. I'm in the hostel side of the thing, it's actually really nice. I have my own room, and the bathrooms are really fantastic. They also have a restaurant that's on site, and that's kind of it for food. There's no you have to bring your own bottled water or buy the bottled water from them. So in terms of just planning and prices, you should think about that if you're coming to Tikal.
Tikal is they have a national park, but then they have the part inside the park is where the ruins from Tikal are, from the Mayan ruins. So you have to pay to get into the national park. But then the hotels that are in the national park, you'll stay there, but then to get into the ruins, you also have to have a wristband, and it's very regulated. But it's easier to do that and access as if you're already in the park. So I stayed at Jungle Lodge. I liked it overall. I had a private room, but there's no restaurants or really any other grocery store or foods. You have to order everything from their restaurant. So they kind of keep you hostage. Would I do it again? I don't know. I might stay in Las Flores just because I liked that vibe a little better.
Top of the world up here. It's just me. I'm up to the very top of this one, and it's pretty cool. So there's these little inlets at the very top, and if you see right in here, you can look through.
this tree coming into the park, and he said it is called the Tree of Life. It has a lot of little things growing in it at the top. It's really interesting. Fun fact about the Mayans, when they were discovering these ruins, people were really afraid. They thought that they were haunted because when people would come and they were excavating, they were getting really sick. Some of them were having bad dreams. Some of them weren't feeling well. And what they later found was that these tombs actually had some kind of like mercury powder in them. He said cinnabar and mercury. So they were getting all of this mercury poisoning when they'd open up these tombs. It was coming up into their lungs, into their breathing all that in, and then it would cause them to have bad dreams and bad vibes, I guess. So it's an interesting thing. And then I got back to my hotel that was in the Tikal Park. Had a fantastic pool, so I had a really delicious lunch. Went and spent the rest of the day at the pool and just kind of relaxed. You could easily leave after you got done with, you did the sunrise and like stayed and then had lunch. You could leave right after that and probably take a transfer straight to Belize. Because Belize to go to San Ignacio was only like 4 or 5 hours and not even that far. And then from there, you could get to Belize City just with a few more hours. If I had maybe thought through it, I might have just done the one night, not spent 2 nights in Tikal, and would have gone on to Belize earlier to San Ignacio, but I didn't know. It was kind of nice since we got up so early to just have a day of rest. And if you have the time, like it's a beautiful setting, you're right in the woods and you can still go back and explore. If I had the energy, I could have gone back throughout the day to go explore, but they have 2 times where you can go in the morning for the sunrise and then you'd have the time. I had to buy the sunrise ticket and the day ticket, and then there's the sunset ticket. So you kind of have to pick your time. So I did sunrise and day ticket because those were the 2 times that I thought I would be there. I didn't get the sunset ticket, which I probably should have in hindsight since we missed the sunrise, but I felt like I got enough. I was satisfied. And then the next morning, I just stayed 1 night there, spent the night by the pool, enjoyed my time. There's a little market where you can buy some little tchotchke, fun things. I felt like the Mayan ruins were really cool. They were well worth the visit. I mean, they are pretty impressive, and the stairs, it's just like something out of the movies like Raiders of the Lost Ark. I mean, you are in the thick of it. So that's my 2 cents on really only 3 days. Flew into Flores the first day. That afternoon went to Tikal, spent 1 night in Tikal. The next morning did the sunrise hike and 1 more night there in Tikal, and then on to Belize the next day. So if you don't have a ton of time, you still can add it on. I would just not drive or bus from Antigua. It's just a huge, I mean, you look at it on the map, it's a long ways away. So I would definitely just fly if you can. And like I said, it wasn't much, maybe $100 to $130 for a flight for a one-way, and it was an hour flight. Easy peasy. And then you're there. That's it for my Guatemala adventures. There's so much more to see in Guatemala, and I will tell you, like, out of the Central American countries, it's my favorite. So don't forget, you're 10, you're 10, you're 10, and make sure you subscribe to learn more about Elida's art adventures as I travel around the world for my 50th birthday, 50 and 50. And we will see you on the next one.